Asleep on the couch, Vivian Blair is awakened to the sound of her ringing mobile. Picking up, her sister, Michelle Blair, is on the other side of the phone as she starts off a casual conversation that soon leads up to the discussing of Vivian's current work project, My Perfect Match. Calling her a love scientist, Vivian states that she is a software developer that has come up with an app that will put together its own dating algorithm per user, allowing those who do sign up to it to will be able to find their perfect match. In a different household, Weston Robinson is cooking breakfast for him and his over from that night. As the eggs are about to burn due to Wes being distracted, his cell phone starts to ring. Answering to find it is his mother, Judith Robinson. She phones wanting to discuss the family company. With Weston's department not doing so well in the market, Judith threatens to fire her son from his position as the head of the tech division if things don't pick back up. As Vivian heads to work, the call with her sister continues as they chat about the teacher stories Michelle's got to share. With the call ending once she arrives at the office, Vivian gets to her desk where she continues working on the product whilst chatting with her two office buddies. Having to walk past them is Mr. Robinson as he makes his way into his office before arriving late to the development meeting. Entering as a rationale for 3 new app ideas is being presented, they all get shut down with Weston bringing up the company's drop in the market as he needs his team to provide something bigger. Something their targeted consumers will want. Hesitant, one more app idea is announced. My Perfect Match is introduced, which succeeds in intriguing the department's CEO. Wanting to hear more about the product from its creator, Wes gets his secretary, Adele, to call for Vivian and invite her into the meeting. Freaking out over this opportunity, Vivian's friends assist in gathering her research papers and try to help calm her down. Arriving at the destination, Vivian is immediately put on the spot to explain the intentions of the app. Going through the idea of using compatibility to create a match rather than the usual physical attraction and passion, Wes finds himself disagreeing and only signs on thinking more about the money the company could earn. The developers are made to focus solely on this application and are to have it launched before Valentine's Day. A desperate app for those desperate for a date. Unhappy with her boss's intentions for the product, Vivian follows him to his office where he clarifies his negative beliefs on both love and the reality of the app working for what it's supposed to do. Even with the scientific research Vivian states had gone into the product, Wes doesn't agree with any of it. Annoyed, Vivian leaves the office where Wes' little brother Ben drops by. Already hearing of the upcoming dating app, Ben manages to book his big brother in for a live TV interview to help impact the marketing boost. Unable to do the interview alone due to not knowing enough about the software, Vivian is brought back into the office where she asked to advertise the application with him. Attempting to charm Vivian into helping him out, the employee refuses the offer with Adele having to step in and get the project's creator to think more about the success of the app this would impact. To that is where she agrees. FaceTiming her sister as she searches for something to wear for the interview, Vivian rants excessively over Wes and his big ego. By the end of it, Michelle manages to have her sister give her boss a second chance at redeeming himself. On the set for the interview, the two meet with Ted Reynolds, their interviewer. Getting right to it, as they all discuss the My Perfect Match, all goes well until Vivian takes offense over her love life being broadcasted on live TV. With this, the host announces a follow-up interview where the creators will return with their perfect matches to show the dating app works. By this, friction is caused between the two once again. With both of them thinking differently on the matter, a challenge is set between the two to use the app's algorithm to find their perfect matches. Arriving at her desk, clearly annoyed, her friends, George and Justine, try their best to cheer her up with the mentioning of the software's release. Going straight on it to create her own dating profile, the two then rush over in excitement to take over for her. As they fill in her details, Adele does the same for Mr. Robinson, who then lies about activating his account. By the next morning, over 1,000 more profiles had been added with Vivian already having 5 matches. Getting Mr. Robinson to agree that she was right, Vivian believes that she is winning the bet with her boss having 0 matches. Messaging who she thinks will be the perfect guy, a romantic dinner date is arranged. Encountering an awkward first date, Vivian begins to dislike her date as his occupation is discussed and attitude is revealed. Trying to escape, a cameraman confronts Vivian as he films for the Hello Evening, expecting her to talk of the date. Unable to do anything, the date returns to Vivian and starts to chase her around the restaurant after a kiss, whilst still on live television. Finding the act humorous, Mr. Robinson's mother shows up talking to both her sons, announcing her disapproval for the app. Trying to tell his mother that the application will work, Judith makes the request for Wes to focus on the company's needs. To recover from the disaster of a date, Vivian is determined to win the bet as she goes on a date with the remaining 4 matches. But the plan continues to fail. Sharing an advertisement idea with her boss, Vivian suggests making the app free on Valentine's Day only. Concerned as the company could lose out on a lot of revenue, it is mentioned that with the more people who download it on that day, it would benefit the app's success in the long run. Agreeing to this, the two begin to open up and bond with one another after Wes' failed attempt at a romantic gesture. Hoping to spend more time together, Weston offers for the two to share a takeout, which gets shut down due to Vivian having another date that night. At a bar this time, waiting on her date, who turns out to be a no-show, Wes arrives and sits with his employee as they drink and discuss the compatibility software. Coming to yet another disagreement, Wes tries to prove his point by picking up a random, nearby woman with the attempt of making Vivian jealous. Using a similar cheesy pickup line to the one he had used on Vivian earlier, the same cameraman appears filming the encounter as Vivian storms off. Finding her asleep at her desk, Wes shocks her awake, wanting her to follow into his office. Believing it's about her being wrong on the whole compatible sequence, Wes does as his mother suggested and asks his employee on a date to his younger brother's wedding. Claiming it wasn't a real date and was more to represent the company, Vivian agrees with the demand of both a pay rise and a promotion. Arriving at the wedding, Wes shows his fake date to her seat. After the ceremony is over, George phones Wes, notifying him of the failure the app is now experiencing. Not wanting to ruin Vivian's mood, he keeps the message to himself. Following not far behind was a second phone call from his mother to complain about the same issue. Annoyed, Wes ends the call and makes his way over to Vivian. Wanting to know what was wrong, instead of answering, he goes in for a kiss with his date. With both of them unsure of the relationship, the two continue their moment before leaving the event to be alone. Enjoying their time together in private, Wes updates Vivian on the dating app's failure. Mad about not being told the news earlier, an argument spikes up again with Vivian storming off home, leaving Wes alone in the rain. Breaking down over what had happened, Vivian goes straight onto the phone with her sister. Returning to his office alone, Adele follows in, advising him to make it up to Vivian. Gaining the courage to do as told, George and Justine are brought in to help Wes come up with a plan to get Vivian back. It is now Valentine's Day, and the film crew have shown up for the follow-up interview. Making it clear they hadn't found their match as promised, Wes tells Vivian of his attempts to win her back by showing her the real him. And with this, the app's algorithm had connected the two, revealing they are each other's perfect matches. Confessing his love over the live television, it works in winning his soulmate's affection as well as bringing the numbers back up on the application, with the downloads rolling back in. Thanks for watching. Check out this movie here. And don't forget to subscribe and to turn on the notification bell.